Always.
Yeah.
Relationships, business, and politics with hosts Lamar Clark, Dorshell Clark, and Dominique Hagler on People Think About It, where thought-provoking discussions abound.
Hey, welcome to People Think About It. Today's topic is going to be, why did I get married? Or why should I get married? We're gonna talk about that today with Miss Dominique Hagler, Miss Audrey Bell, and Kelton Wynn. So, and he's brother Mustafa. His brother Mustafa.
No.
That's what. So he even going to give us a perspective.
He mispronounced my name on purpose. That's what I'm talking about.
Kelton. So we're going to talk about it. Why did I get married? Why should I get married?
Why shouldn't I get married?
Or why shouldn't I get married? Yeah, why shouldn't I?
Why did I get married?
So we're going to start this thing off about, get a little energy from Miss Hagler over there.
Damn.
So why should I get married? Why shouldn't I get married?
Okay, so hey y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and kick it off now. I've never been married, for the disclaimer, okay? I have been engaged 3 times. However, in my personal opinion, I feel like when it comes to marriage, everything has to align, right? Or it has to make sense some kind of way. And I'm going to speak on the why I did not get married standpoint, because I felt like the values didn't match. I didn't feel like we made sense to each other. Like once the ring got on, I felt like another person came out, and it was like, yeah, you took the mask off. And I don't know if I really see a future with you at this point. So no, I'm gonna decline.
Right, because I think that when it comes to marriage, and we do these celebrations of the ring and going to the courts and getting the certificates and all that. But I think that marriage is in the heart. I think marriage is between, like they say, you, your wife, and God. I just think that is it. That if I take off this ring, if we have a great marriage and I take off the ring because you put so much energy into the ring, you feel like we're not married. Or if I go and tear up a marriage certificate, we still married. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think that, like you say, that energy always has to be there because you're going to have your high lows and in-betweens. You're going to have your ups and downs. But how do you deal with them in being married, of having those ups and downs and things of that nature? Mm-hmm. And, like I said, I just think a ring is part of the ceremony. A ring is not that, hey, I'm married because I got this ring on. Because, if you and your mate decide, well, we're not going to get rings, you still married.
Right.
So, you got to look at it from that perspective. What do you think, Miss Audrey? Because you are married. How do you feel about it?
I am married, and like my daughter, I was engaged 3 times.
Wow, is that a family thing?
Well, because we can smell BS. Okay. Take after her mama, so she done did it 3 times. I got married on the 3rd time. I think for me, and the reason I didn't get married the first 2 times, one, I think we were too young. We weren't ready. I was ready. He wasn't ready. And I was 3 years older than him. And I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that until after we actually had her, that I was 3 years older, because he lied about it. So he started out lying day one.
He pulled a Reese's Teeth on
Yeah, he did. At day one, he started out lying. So I was 3 years older, and he was still young. So by the time I was 27, he was just turning 24. So it was like, we got this kid, we got to raise a baby, and it wasn't happening. The second time I got married, this guy I felt like he was engaged. I mean, the second time I got engaged, I think he was just looking for somewhere to lay his head, right?
He was humping for homes.
He was humping for homes, and I guess he thought I was one of them desperate ones that was like, let's get married, and I wasn't she. Because I was still a party animal back then, so I wasn't trying to, that's right, bro, that was me in the club, baby. And so I wasn't, when and it was 4 months in, we got engaged.
Wow.
4 months in, we got engaged, and 5th month we was unengaged because I gave him back his ring. I was like, yeah, it's not going to work for me. And there were several other opportunities that I had the opportunity to be engaged. But for me, I have to feel like the person is genuine about who they are. And so when I met my husband, it was strictly business out the gate. Like he wanted to be an investor in my company. And so for me, I was like, oh yeah, that's sexy right there. He wanted to be an investor. But we were friends for months, and we talked about business. And then he kind of started trying to date me, and I was like, I don't know if you want to date me because I'm broke. I'm an entrepreneur. I got this kid I'm trying to take care and run a business. Right. And he was like, I'm all in, and he stayed. And so we've been together 23 years. But even in hindsight, I got the representative.
Right. So how do y'all feel about...
I got the representative.
How do y'all feel about... Because I think that, and you probably can touch on this, our brother and stuff, I think most men, when they look for marriage or a woman, is about trust. For men, it's a big trust factor that I can trust this woman. And with women, I think it's more about security and finance.
It's trust too for us too.
Well, that one part of that trust, the context of that is... my marriage is a little bit different. So there's a different connotation. If you're in love, walked all down the aisle, dressed up everything with honeymoon, and here come that meddling person. It's either going to be the auntie, your girlfriend, or boyfriend, or exes, whatever, right? Finance. So trust is based upon, to me, right, and I said this to you, exclusivity. Not because I run the show, not because I'm the man or whatever. It's all you. It's all me. We was breathing. My heart pump. That's because she is inhaling. My heart pumped because she was inhaling.
We know about that inhaling, that rib stuff. That's
It's a rib. No.
Is this a family show?
Say whatever you want.
No.
Let me ask you this.
It was the melon, and then the finances came in. So how it happened was my mother and father. My father recently passed. They was together for 5-6 decades, and the same thing. Here goes the money part. But he ain't never gonna be able to. Unlike Mr. Kearney, he ain't never gonna buy you this. He ain't never gonna get you this. Right? They was just nigga rich. My family is wealthy. Big difference, and they had to learn that real quick. So the way that we're taught is like, I don't want to mention his name, but a well-known black activist, because I'm who I'm sitting with. Right? I don't like to drop his name, but he said black folks marry from the neck down. White folks marry from the neck up.
True that. We
planning for the weekend. They planning for generations.
So let me ask you this question. This is the question because I know that.
Say that again.
I'll put this in the quote because it's in the book. Farrakhan said it from the leader of the Nation of Islam. It said, and I'll say it backwards. Black people marry from the neck down. Physicality. I love you, you love me. Like Barney. White folks marry from the neck up. Okay. We planning for the weekend. They planning for generations.
Let me ask you this question.
I agree.
Being that that you practice Islam
now,
what is the difference between let's say a Christian marriage and an Islamic marriage?
Well, let's go to the real. Let's go to the real.
Wait a minute. Let me finish the question. So like I have friends that are Islamic, right? And there's this thing y'all do called munta, where you can have more than one wife.
That's the context. Back to context, because muta is, say like I'm on the Japanese period piece right now, and they're in the middle of a war, impending war. Muta and for the deviant sex, they take that out where during war, when I possess you and I take you and I take the wealth, right? Because we're in the middle of war. So a muta marriage is a temporary marriage in order so we don't commit adultery and fornication, which is a major thing in Islam. But one of my friends who just finished studying at the university of Medina, Saudi Arabia, there's levels to this, like the young people said. So that right there is totally absolved. You have to have a leader, and he has to proclaim war. We have to be behind a banner.
So it's based upon war then? Yes,
and other factors, but that's the major thing. It means temporary marriage.
Right, because the reason I brought it up, because like I said, I have some friends that are Islamic, and I never knew about this munta thing, and they explained to me you can have more than one wife and this and that. And but then when I did my research on it, and you saying it was war, that's what it was about, that if you got killed in war, I took in your wife, but I had to be able to take care of her.
No. There's the other side. There's the next step. So I'm in Chicago. I'm up the street, right before I met you. So she said, you Muslim? It's Ramadan. I'm like, yeah, how you doing, sister? She with a child. So the young guy had married her, and then he divorced her because he said it was a muta marriage. His intention was to marry her temporarily. How's that your intention? You didn't let her know. But at the same time, though, so if my village comes to your village, all the way at the historical connotation said that the Arab Muslims, my ancestors sold black slaves. No, that's not true. Or black people, Africa, sold slaves. When it comes to a war, there is some context. There is certain levels of this protocol. I'm not coming to slaughter because the women and children are left. We can't tear down any infrastructures, synagogues, temple. We leave that. So who's taking care of the women and the children during the middle of this war? They're mine now.
Okay.
Those are my possessions.
But you have to be able to take care of them. You
already got the wealth. So he died, right? And it's like this. You are now a part of my clan now. And I'm making you halal. I'm making you lawful. We making you lawful.
So what's the difference between that and polygamy? Because when I look at polygamy, I was watching this one show. I forgot the name of it, a long time ago. The guy, it was a brother. It was two brothers. Both of them were in polygamous marriages, and his brother died. He had cancer, and according to them, when the brother died, he has to take on the wife and their kids. Right. So he already had 3 wives. And one of them was like the last wife. She was having issues with the first 2 wives, and she was the third wife. So now the brother dies, and he has 2 wives. And so now the brother's supposed to take both wives, which makes him have 5 wives and about 25 kids, right? But the wife has to say okay to that. But that was the way they did things. She had to say, yes, I want to go. And because they were having so much issues with the third wife from the brother, the other 2 wives who lost the husband say, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be a part of that. So for me, what's the difference between that and an Islamic marriage that is based on war?
Okay, so that one is I always look up, I'm give you the word. I always start with the word in context. So in Arabic, it's called ta'addud zawjat.
Okay.
Right?
Could you say that again?
Ta'addud zawjat, right? Which means plural wives, just basically. Mm-hmm. So, but you also have polygamy, but you have polyandry, and then you have polyamorous. Mm-hmm. Poly. Let's break it down. So the issue is, I've seen that situation, but I was only 10 years old. The man was in the community he was with is Abdul Hakim. So when he my uncle, and took on them, she had several children. I remember their names because I didn't see them for like about 20 years. So again, here come the messiness. Right, and it doesn't always have to do with us. It's just the cultural inclination,
especially not that part.
So that part,
like we're just not getting to the part where we polyamorous.
Yes. So now that
we try to do European type lifestyle.
So we practice a Euro-American lifestyle for hundreds of years, and they not even practicing it themselves. They practicing it on us, but not amongst themselves. So what happened is, this is an institution, so I'm going to give you the word for the institution, but the way it's broken down is getting in context. It's lengthy, it gets complicated, and then you have to deal with the part of Islamic law, which is called Hifzul Nafs. Preservation of life is number 1, right? Number 2 after number 1. So like I said last night, that it's about, so the women have innumerable rights. Y'all outnumber us. So it was said today, someone said, what rights do men have today that women don't? None. So what are the lesbians arguing about? So it's an agenda. Has nothing to do with sex. Has nothing to do with any of that. It all boils down to political agenda. So you can marry for that. You can marry. This person has political influence, right? Miss Audrey Bell Kearney. Where you from? You a part of that. Boom. That's a connection. He wanted to invest in you, right? He had the what? He had the fun. He didn't care what you got, this, that, third. He wanted to be a controlling part. That's an investment. But it's broken down, not to overcomplicate it. Don't make it about sex. Sex is the last thing.
So you're saying...
But most people in marriage is about sex. In most people.
But are you saying when it comes to multiple partners in a marriage, it's about business? Because I've heard that.
No. Now let me add the other 3. Okay. So in Islam, we marry for 4 things, right? Number 1, for the deen. This is according to this. I had to call overseas for this because, my uncle, that one that did that, he recently passed. So first of all, you can marry for beauty, marry for the religion, marry for the wealth. Now the 4th one is very, very rare. Marry for royal lineage. That's what I said, that we're not the same. I got number 4. You got number 4. Don't you? What's in that DNA? You're not throwing that anyway. You said that. Mm-hmm. So in very few dynasties, which I come from, which was said to me, are you married? Do you any more kids? I said, no, Granny. She said, why? This dynasty is over.
What's your dynasty? Because you keep talking about this dynasty.
Yeah, and right.
She said it.
Let's say, what's the wealth part?
So the part was you can marry for the religion, you can marry for beauty, you can marry for a royal lineage. Now, very few people you would say like the Russians or the British,
Indian.
right? And the Indian Moguls, and also with the Asians, the Japanese. Very very rare. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons with the connotation with us. It's not just polygamy. It's because our race has a monetary connotation, right? You paying all this, and you bring a black man cannot even see his kids unless he's paying for the bills. All of it. He's bringing home the baby.
That depends on the woman. So that's.
I think that's. But my question is this. Because I hear. Not just you, but people say they're about the wealth and all that, but they show no wealth.
Exactly.
So if you show no wealth, are we talking about physical wealth? Are we talking about monetary wealth? Are we talking about what kind of wealth are we talking about?
So the best things he said, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. This is the only month of Ramadan, so it's a blessing for me to mention him. So the things that you marry for, even wealth, but he said, here's goes the dispensation: marry for the religion, and everything else will be safe. Because if she's God-fearing, her beauty gone. We together 50 years.
But you know, that's the same like in marriage in Christianity. You know, they say it's God, the husband, and the wife, and then the children. But we take everything out of line with that in marriage in Christianity. But in the same token, in Christianity, you can speak about the wealth, but what truly is the wealth? So if we talking about land, we talking about money. What is the wealth? Because a lot of people speak on wealth, but they show no wealth.
Well, this is the part about the wealth in Islam, and I'll finish on this. Say, for example, she comes in and she got, also we have to pay what is called a dowry. Mm-hmm. In you said about over in India, right? Mm-hmm. They pay the man the dowry. Not good. Because if she comes in wealth, so basically she has land. That's one. What is on that land? Usually water rights, or she has, like Nigeria or whatever. I want 1 goat, 2 cows or whatever. But then you also have the jewels, gold. She is worth her weight in gold. Mm-hmm. Then there's the other one, right? Which is the fact that she has businesses. She is so
what does the man bring forth as far as wealth? From what I'm hearing, you talking about dowry.
So with the bring another to the table.
No, so what kind of? But what I'm saying is just like when you speak, you say you have the wealth. Yes. You're not talking about her wealth. Where is per se the man's wealth?
So the other part of the institution of polygamy, and also addresses the fact that. One was asked, well, should I marry him? They would all come because he's the leader of the community. Should I marry him? So, because he's the one that performs the ceremonies. He said, no, he has no wealth. Or another one, what about him? He in the Arabic, the context is that he's hard, heavy-handed. Now, you and I have females. Right, and
I have a wife. I don't have females.
No, daughters. We have females.
Okay, let's take that right. Because my wife, you don't know my wife. You say females, I can have a problem up here.
I ain't finished.
So what we're talking about, I have a wife.
So I
have daughters. I have daughters, and I have a wife.
Right.
Clean it up real quick.
So clean it up. So the thing is, you and I,
don't get me in trouble.
That's right.
We're not marrying, right? And we're not marrying our female children off to just any blowjob. Right, and if
I feel like at a certain point in time when they become grown, me as a father, if I did my duty as a father, and they go marry a bum, that's on them.
That's it. That still exists
that's on them
in the Christian community.
You can't tell somebody who to love or who not to. Because I may feel that your partner is a outright bum. Mm-hmm. And I know I raised you well as a daughter or a son or whatever. I can't stop you from loving who you want to love.
Yeah. So here's the other part was I married into wealth. Inadvertently, I didn't know anything. And my father, right, and he did not like it.
So let me ask you this question.
And her father did not like it either because he said if anything happens to that boy, that family, they gonna drop him.
So when we talk about marriage and we talk about wealth, and you talk about how it's done in Islam, we talk about how it's done in Christianity. That you say men have nothing and women have all the wealth.
Who said that? I didn't say
well, let me tell you how. I mean, you said that she got land, she got this, she got that, and I said, "Where's your wealth?" And you said, "He said man has no wealth."
I didn't finish.
That's what. No, I'm just regurgitating back what I heard you say. Okay. You said she has land. When we asked you to explain it, you said she has land because we asked, "Where's the wealth?" She has land. Land has jewels, water, this and that. And I said, well, what about his wealth? You said he has no wealth.
That's what you said. No, I said that people came to Prophet Muhammad to ask his opinion.
Did he say that he had no wealth?
He said don't marry him. He said don't marry him. Okay, he can't take care of you.
But what I'm saying is that when a man keeps saying he got wealth, I asked you, where's his wealth?
His wealth should be based upon the fact that he has one, everybody talk about generational wealth and residual income. Hold on. If he's able-bodied and he's working, right? Because one thing that women don't understand, if you got his time, you ain't going to get his money. But if you got his money,
I beg to differ on that, too.
All right.
Here's the thing, right? I'm gonna say this. So my brother's younger than me, right? He got married first, and I remember he was dating. He had this specific type of girl he liked to date,
right.
But the girl that he married didn't fit the bill. And I said to him, "She don't fit the bill of what I've been saying your whole life. She don't look the same, right?" And he said, "Audrey, she's smart. She knows how to." Now she was cute, but I've seen other girls that he dated, and I'm thinking, yeah, she don't look like them other girls you dated. She was cute, she was smart, and he's like, she know how to order off of a menu. He said marriage is a business deal.
Yes,
right?
I've heard people.
He said marriage is it's a business transaction. Now, and me, I'm a diehard romantic, right? So that went right over my head. Like, yeah, I don't hear what you're saying.
Take the business out though.
But so that went over my head. But as I've gotten older, I was dating this guy one time, Nigerian guy. His family was rich and wealthy. They was rich and wealthy. My mom loved him. She wanted me to marry him.
That's because he had money.
He had money. He was gonna buy me a car. His daddy was a doctor. His mama was a lawyer. It was all that good stuff, right? And then he wasn't one of my 3 engagements because I didn't take his ring. Because I just knew that was an absolute no. He was nice though, but he just wasn't for me. But she wanted me to marry him for that reason, right? And for me, that wasn't enough. It could have been a great business deal, right? Because he was wealthy, and I was ambitious and he was ambitious. That could have been a great business deal, but that wasn't enough for me. So when I look at people, but going back and looking at it now, I'm looking at the things that you need to ask before you get married, right? You have to ask the very hard questions before you get married. You can't be walking around here with your head in a cloud because, y'all still in love, because trust me when I tell you, that's going to wear off. And people are so deathly afraid of asking the hard questions. Why? Before they get married, ask them questions. What's your credit like? Do you like to go to? I tell Dominique.
No, finish that second question.
What's your credit like?
What's it?
Do you like to travel? Oh, she having a summer moment over here. The things that are really important. What kind of money you make? What kind of?
Oh yeah. Go give me that water over there.
What's wrong?
No.
What, I passed out?
Yeah. No, little bit, just a little bit. Just ease down. It's hot in here.
What?
You good.
Cut it up. I didn't know I had passed out.
No.